We've already done the plug. If you want to see the plug again, you can watch the beginning of the previous two VODs. Sorry to do this, but I'm running a little dry. Check out TrinityForceNetwork.com if you want information. Anything that I was plugged is going to be in here. Just cycle through About, Schedule, Battle Arena Community. Those are the good ones. Home is kind of an RSS feed. I would recommend checking out these four first for more information. Yeah, I think that's generally it. What I will plug is if you want to check me out, you can go to... I'll make sure that no bad URLs show up. You can go to Twitter. And I'm Horse Doctor at Horse Doctor. Well, I can't type tonight. Lol. And you can follow me. You can also check out my last hitting guide on YouTube.
That's a really good last hitting guide.
Yeah, it's some intense stuff. 360 last hitting. There's a last hitting guide. There's Introduction to Playing Twisted Fate with Frostbite. Some of you guys may recognize him from the Four Words podcast. And there's also my drastic improvement video. Anybody who wants to get into laddering, this is most of what I talk about in Battle Arena. Not like specifically League of Legends, but just general improvement, how to take notes, how to review your games. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So it's definitely worth the look.
Oh my god, why?
It's a good looking dog. It's very muscular.
We're never gonna get game 3 started.
It looks like it's favoring that foot.
You want? I can hop in there. I'll play Bard, so it'll be even.
Right. Oh, Sky Girl. Alright. Alright, Sky, what's your in-game name? It's made to sit on people, not hurt them.
It's not the sign-up sheet fault, Whale. God. In fact, because of the sign-up sheet, we got a whole lot of new people in the first 2 games. In fact, we even had somebody thank us for having a sign-up sheet.
Alright, so if you want an invite to this game, give me your in-game name. So, alright. Or when you get into client, since you're watching stream, just go into custom, hit the box at the bottom that says join private game, hit Battle Arena Remake, and the password is TForce2, as I just typed it out on the stream. So just hop in the game.
Jokered is almost back in, apparently.
Yep. I'm afraid to make that diamond run. Yeah. Let's go mid pitch.
I like how nobody clamors.
Dude, if I played Whale mid,
team.
I would just farm on TF and camp bot lane, and then he'd call me a bitch for ganking
just ignore
bot.
him.
It's usually TF lane. Like, I don't solo kill that often. Unless somebody misplays really hard or I get a gank.
They really nerfed his solo lane kill pressure when they switched up. They like lowered the amount of time you have after you pick a card, right? That nerf?
I don't think that nerfed him, because oftentimes when you go for kills, you can't telegraph really hard against blue players.
Yeah.
So you hover like you're going to a blue for mana, and then you use a red for wave clear for the AoE, and then you go for a Q and autos. Or you can do blue-red, and then as you're sitting on red and you walk up to casters, like you're going to clear casters, you just let it sit for an extra second and you turn with gold. You just want to think about like what would be a good situation to use the previous card, and then the next card, and then you use the next card. And you use it as soon as it flips, so they don't have time to react. Like, right before the auto attack animation. But
I sense fear in your heart.
Katarina tank jungle. Legion's
Alright, hey, let's go.
That's generally co-pressure. The big reason TF's... One, he just never had a ton of co-pressure 1v1 mid unless it was 1 through 5, and it's harder now with Flask. 2, you don't take Ignite on TF mid a lot, and killing people
Usually
without
Flash
Ignite on TF is hard.
The Ghost, yeah?
Yeah, I go Flash Ghost, or usually Flash Ghost. Some people take Ignite if they're really confident. I know Apto takes Ignite, and I know if I say TF stuff and Apto doesn't get it, I always get the flag.
Wale's going with the doesn't give a fuck bands. Oh yeah. My goodness, look at that.
I always get the Apto doesn't do this. You're a bad
He skipped
player.
Ari.
Blah blah blah. He skipped Ari.
He doesn't ban Ari.
Be honest, I'm not a big fan of Leona first pick. I don't like to talk about picks and bans a lot, but Janna. If Janna is up first picking, Leona's not the best. I'll kind of leave it at that. Janna beats Leona really badly, and she's a pretty popular support, at least in the games that I play. Thresh also does well against Leona. And the odds that the other support can't play Thresh or Janna are pretty low. You probably don't have Ahri. No, Whale plays Ahri. He's probably going to pick Ahri. Yeah, it's because Whale played Ahri. Oh, God.
Okay, well, there's the Riven.
Mm-hmm.
And, Tryndamere jungle.
Not a big fan of the Trend jungle. Especially with TP. You really want Flash on Trend if you're sitting like late game or Ghost. Ghost is good for mobility. Just I don't really need to elaborate on that. You see some Trend players take Flash, and I've actually been asked this question before. The reason they do this is 1, early game ganks. 2, sometimes you can get kited late game, especially in the ultimate. If you have a full rage bar and there's a carry near you can just flash out of them, and sometimes you randomly crit them for 1,000 and everything's good. So. Like Nasus too, that's the reason sometimes people take Flash on Nasus is early game and being able to Flash Q so you don't get kited out as hard. They both have their ups and downs. Kha'Zix was here, you could say TCP as an abundant good sir. Alright. But Kali is very unfit. So we have Kate. It's not bad. Kate struggles here. Taric. I've actually been seeing a lot of Taric lately, and I really like it. I think he's weird. I used to think Taric was... I played a lot of Taric in Season 2. In Season 2, he just crapped on people in lane, and he's okay because the game was different. Yeah. I thought Taric was bad for a really long time. He got remade, and he's kind of okay.
He's actually... Yeah.
He's different. He actually, his win rate goes up as the game goes on now, and he actually has some really bad lanes. But if they don't pick Janna, none of the lanes are too bad unless you misplay hard. And he just offers so many free stats as long as you're making sure to get auto attacks off and be relevant. That like
he's a stat giving machine.
From Diamond 5 to Diamond 1, I had Taric on my team 4 times. I won all 4 of those games, and in 3 of those games, Taric lane got a first blood. I like Taric right now. I don't know why. I don't know what changed. I think we were all just wrong. Well, that's a good pick, though. And Gragas. I think I didn't see Gragas a lot in ranked, and then he got nerfed, and now I'm probably never going to see him again. I tried him a few times. I didn't like him that much either.
I still need to try Elise back in the jungle after those semi-buffs.
She's so hard. No offense, but like nobody in Trinity Force is good enough to play at least.
Okay, well, just wait till you see me play her. Okay.
Wait until you see me play. Alright.
Just you haven't even seen me play her.
At least
Just
it's like Lee,
you
man. If I check someone's solo key rank, it's a certain level they can't play at least.
Oh man, just wait when eventually I meet the team T4's team in the
Yeah,
finals.
play at least mid.
I'm gonna play her mid, yeah.
As a feminist line, nobody likes that. Okay, well. So, lanes, Vladimir and Riven. Really hard lane for Vladimir. He can win it if he messes up once. Riven can kill him. And it's I've played the lane both sides a few times, and usually the Riven wins because not making any mistakes is pretty impossible unless you're a 1000 LP challenger.
I really like that Galio pick.
Mouse into Galio. Good pick. One of the reasons I don't like the heal on Galio a lot. I would like...
Yeah.
He's like one of the only mids I like TP on, and maybe not TP, but Barrier or Ignite or Ghost, just not heal against Mouse. Mouse always takes Ignite. Although sometimes I see Mouse take Ghost. But Mouse has a lot of priority, but Galio can hold his own. I think. Alright, so Frown changed summoner spells. So that's good. So I wasted my time. I forget about that. Mouse's priority, he sees priority here, and Galio just can clear waves and not die. That's one of the issues I have with Galio, is like people pick Galio to counter LeBlanc, and I've played the matchup as LeBlanc a few times, and I win every time I play LeBlanc, and in Diamond people won't counterpick you with Galio and LeBlanc. It's because like if the LeBlanc is stupid enough to stay mid the entire game, yeah, Galio beats her.
Yeah.
Galio doesn't have a lot of priority, and his roam is kind of wonky. And like LeBlanc can freeze near her tower and get ganks and kill Galio. She can push and roam, and Galio struggles to follow. And like she just has a lot of win conditions, and a lot of champions are like that with Galio, where sure up in a straight up 1v1 in a vacuum, Galio's better, but he's also a melee champ that's easy to gank mid that can't roam and doesn't have a lot of priority. But if he farms and scales, he does pretty well late game. So Galio needs to farm and keep good wards and let his team know if and when Masahara leaves lane. Jungle, Gragas needs to abuse early game. Gragas has gotten nerfed a lot, and Tryndamere will kind of outscale, but Gragas can be more useful all game because sometimes Tryndamere just can't scale because of how hard he gets kited out. And not having a mobility summoner is going to hurt him a lot here.
If red team gets a little bit of a slight lead, they can be really impressive with split pushing, like 1-3-1 almost. But and now, because I don't really see them being that. Well, I
Whale
guess
doesn't have Ignite. What the hell?
Oh.
Alright. So, I actually would like to see Riven have TP in this matchup, but usually Whale doesn't take TP, which is why I'm surprised. But Whale took the right summoner, so we're good.
Yeah.
Bot
Once
lane,
again. Oh, what?
I was going to go over bot lane.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Kate wants to abuse Taric when Taric stuns, Kate nets, or Leona just engages on Corki. But if Taric can just hard trade Kate when Kate mispositions, they can come ahead and help. I talked about Kate, Corki lane. Kate wants to bully as hard as she can pre-6, and if she doesn't, Corki will come back with rockets. Corki and Taric can come back. The biggest thing when you come back on lane with Corki is you want to buffer rockets. You want to have 5 or more rockets, and you want to have big one as your first rocket. So if Taric goes in with this E combo, like EWR, you go in, you auto, big one, Sheen proc, Q burst. But if you don't lead with big one, sometimes rockets 2, 3, and 4 are harder to hit because Taric hasn't stunned the target and stun is worn off. So just make sure that if you do try and cheese Caitlyn to come back from the lane, you're using your big one effectively. Corki's tricky though. He goes even in a lot of lanes and he comes back with rockets.
Yeah.
Rockets are good. But Taric is healed too, so.
That heal is actually really powerful now too. It's really good. It's on a long cooldown, but a little disappointed we don't see a 5th age armor Tarek, but I guess he'll live.
It'll be an interesting game, though.
Yeah, this will definitely be an interesting game. I expect another... I kind of expect Tarek to kind of block it pretty early on.
That is one of the biggest things I see in my ranked games when I play with high elo Tareks, and I play in my normal games with lower elo Tareks. One, they have reasonable rune pages. If they're playing an AP lane, they have magic resist blues.
Yeah.
All tends to have a lot of armor, but they're still taking the appropriate runes they need to take.
So yeah, they're not throwing everything into the armor. They're not throwing every rune into the armor category.
They might have 2 armor runes, 1 health rune, 1 MR rune out of the 4 rune categories, or they might have 3 armor, 1 magic in some matchups, but they're not going for armor. They also don't just like walk in, they don't buy Frozen Heart, Iceborne Gauntlet, Thornmail. I know he synergizes the armor, but they still buy the correct support items they need to buy for that game. Having the correct support item is more important than your spells being like 3% more effective, because they don't really scale that hard. I mean, they scale, but you still support.
With Galio, like magic resist, you scale so well with it, but you might only want to buy 1 magic resist type related item this game. Oh wait, no, sorry, I didn't see. I thought he was on the other team for a second. Never mind.
I've seen a lot of people. I could see
Abyssal would be good.
Yeah.
This game, but I don't know if he wants to finish Athene's before that or.
I actually have a friend who made Galio. And there are 2 builds. There's a CDR Magic Pen build, where you're looking at Leandries and Void and oftentimes tanky items and not getting a death cap, and just kind of relying on burn for damage. Cogmaw, AP Cog kind of does that with some of his builds as well. And there is a full AP damage build.
Yeah.
But they're both good. The full AP damage build can go Roa or CDR. So we'll see which one of those he looks to take. We haven't talked about this at all tonight. It's important in Battle Arena to not take your skills until you need them. So many people skilled early here, which I'm not a big fan of. But we'll see. Just, you never know what's going to happen until 155, so it's important to not take your skills. Small things really, really matter in League. Let's say you play 100 games, and I use this example a lot, but it kind of helps people grasp like the number theory behind grinding out ranked games. If you win half of them, you go 50-50, assuming your MMR is average. You stay the same. If you lose 1 game because of something stupid, like scaling early or something like that, you're now 49-51. You've lost 2 net wins, which is about 40 LP. From one, it's only 1 loss, but out of those 100 games, it's 2 net wins because it's a win that could have been a loss.
Is Wale?
Wow.
What's he doing?
Oh, he did camp start.
Okay.
And if you win 1 game because you cleaned up or you nitpicked something really stupid that's only 1 in 100, you're now 51 and 49, and you've gone up half a division.
Okay, so Tarek walked up to shatter Caitlyn there while they were level down. That wasn't exactly the most right move.
Bot lane, level 2 is really important, and if you can't get level 2 against Leona lane, you just need to play cautiously and maybe farm a Corky Q.
And now, I'm really not recommending walking up and using W. In fact, I don't know why he leveled that up first. But, yeah. If Frown wasn't playing, I'd actually ask him what he thought about that. He's like the resident T-Force
I'm still going to call
Tarek
myself
main.
Tarek main. I haven't done it in a while, but I've also hit reasonably elo with it.
I played it bot lane with Bao yesterday.
Yeah.
And we lost terribly, but I blame that on him, not me.
Tarek was my final game to hit gold my first season. I played Tarek. Played mostly Tarek and Mundo that season. Season 2, good times. Tarek's really, really bad if he doesn't win lane. No, he isn't. Go to champion.gg. Tarek, this isn't Season 2, Season 3. You may not play Tarek, and you may just kind of say, saying what other people are telling you about Tarek, because that's how Tarek worked for a really, really long time. Tarek's win rate actually goes up as the game goes on now. He offers a lot of free stats, and he's really good into some meta picks like Callista.
Yeah.
He's
kind of turns into a peel machine mid-game for your AD carry, but you can transition easily into...
Free stats will always be good. Bulwark was OP in Season 2, Locket's OP now.
It's weird that he provides so many free stats, because I thought that's what the rework was supposed to prevent. Like, they wanted to take away how many free invisible powers, what they called it, which is why they reworked Sona and stuff like that.
So, even Radiance, at rank 1, at level 6, you can give your ally 15 AD. That's 1.5 longsword. For everyone on your team. And 15 AP, that's 3/5 of an amplifying tune, but it's for your whole team. I didn't say he was bad. Go to champion. No, just go to champion GG. If you don't believe me, you can look at his win rate as it goes up throughout the game. But I said he's bad if he loses. I mean, most champions are bad if they lose bot lane, because you lose lane for 2 people. That's not a really a fair argument to make. Alright, so bot lane, Tarek. Really respect if Leona has Lance. He probably could have died there if she hit it, but sometimes proccing targets isn't worth taking half of your health.
And he does have a biscuit if he wants to eat it anytime soon.
That.
Just has that health pot. You can use it. So Gregus tried an early gank top, and so he backed, got his jungle item. Do you think he should focus bot? I don't think he's going to get anything done mid, so I was thinking top or bot would be his most effective ganks.
Alright, so let me line up portraits, and we'll look at his gank assist. Wow, why am I so bad at this? Alright, so his gank assist in lanes. We have Gragas. We have a Vladimir who has no CC, kind of what we saw top lane. We have a Malzahar who's just hit level 6 and has Ignite. Pretty good if the lane's not pushed. And we have bot lane, who's kind of pushed, and he's in there for a lane gank.
With on top of a ward.
Yeah, this is tricky. If I were Gragas, I would know that if Malzahar is mid pushing, there's a good chance that Chandramuir may or may not gank him. And you can just walk up mid. Or walk around mid, just do camps around mid, do wraiths, do blues, stay up in EXP. One thing he's not doing is level 4 at 7 minutes. And wait for Chandramuir to gank mid. And then when he ganks mid, you have a 2v2 with Malzahar that has ult and Ignite, and you'll probably just win the 2v2. So I think he should just be hovering mid for a counter gank.
Whoa, Malzahar was really far down bot.
And Tarek's at 1 point, Q 2 points, E. That's not terrible. I think you lose too much priority. QS's first mouse, good for Galeo.
This is a pretty aggressive early dragon call, and I kind of like it.
It's a good call. The one thing I don't like about it is he's not sweeping it.
Because the bot lane did have priority because of how hard pushed up and dominating they were. I don't know if Malzahar had too much of a priority mid lane, but it was enough, I think.
Just if you go for solo dragon and you go for risky dragon early, especially if you buy it pink, it's something you want to do. Also, Gragas, this is something that's kind of telegraphable, and this is more of a high elo thing, but it may happen in your games, and as you go up in elo, you'll start to see this happening. Is you see a jungler recall, and please don't dive.
Oh, she hit the tower
First blood, baby.
Oh, the execute. I do like this. This is a pretty good teleport by a whale. I think he might be able to get the kill here, maybe. With a rocket. With a rocket. Wow. No rocket?
I bet whale's so tilted he didn't shoot rocket there. Alright.
He's level 6. Oh well.
I got pixie sticks. That's iffy. What was I
Maybe he
talking
didn't.
about?
Maybe he didn't have one set up.
Oh, yes. So if you see the Gragas recalls here and you're playing as Tryndamere, you hit tab after the scrimmage here. You should be hitting tab a lot, especially if you're jungling. You see his items. You see a jungler buy an early pink ward. You really need to be thinking about dragon, because one of the common plays you go for if you solo dragon or you go for an early dragon is pinking it. So if you're jungling against someone and you see them grab an early pink, really be thinking to yourself, dragon. I don't think QSS is good first tier. I know Galio synergizes with Magic Resist and it cleanses Malzahar ult, but Galio should already be able to deal with Malzahar ult, and he gives up so much priority. He doesn't have mana regen, he doesn't have as much ability power as he could, as his passive isn't 1-to-1. He doesn't have cooldown reduction, and he delays getting his first real item by 1250 gold, so... It's good in theory because of Galio's passive and the Malzahar matchup, but sometimes you need to play to win and you need to not just play to not lose.
So I want to talk about top lane real quick. It's pretty much past the point where I don't think Wale can do anything really top lane. Vladimir's already got his revolver. Mm-hmm. He's gonna have insane sustain in lane, and yeah, Riven wasn't able to get an early kill on him.
So the one point I'd like to make in top is, as Vladimir when your top lane TPs, you either watch or you can get a feel for what cooldowns they use, and really bad pool. So don't pool in a trade unless you're dodging skills. You lose a lot of health, and you didn't get anything out of it. But if Riven doesn't have flash or ult, you really want to bully hard on Vladimir. It's really hard for Riven to kill Vladimir in this matchup without flash in general.
Like, he can just walk up and sustain on Q with minions at this point. He can back too if he wants.
In the Galio example, I use this example a lot, but it's pretty relevant. And a lot of times you'll lose lane really hard to a Zed. And you'll buy... Your mind will say Hourglass first. And I was watching LCS the other day, and some of the people in one of the chat rooms I was in were... Oh, this person is losing to Zed, and why didn't he buy Hourglass first? He went Morelos on Azir. He's such a bad player. How's he professional? Well, sometimes you need to win the game, and you need to not just play to lose. And it's much better for him to buy a Morelos and play safe than to get Zhonya's. It's so much stronger around Dragon, and it's just strong for a lot of other reasons. But you give up so much priority not having an item like that. Well, you can't kill him. Yeah. Well, kind of got pinched there.
Yeah. He had a good idea. But that was a good gank by Gragas.
You don't want to go for that gank with that award. That play with that award. When you engage a fight in lane, especially if you don't have flash, it's best to maybe test it once and see if the jungler bites on it and save a cooldown, or just hold a ward or something. Not hold a ward, just go ward river before you make the play. But we'll get to see some humility out of Whale for once. And back to the general talk I just had on priority. I would have liked to see Morelos or something other than Rod out of Malzahar. 1, you can't finish Rod early, so I don't like it. 2, you want to be able to pressure the Galio early and not let him scale. And then Morelos helps with Galio W and Taric Q.
Caitlyn screwed up there with that. She could have gotten the kill on Taric, but she netted away from him instead of towards him. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see boots out of Galio. It helps with skill shots mid, and it also helps with the roaming and helping your bot. One of the big reasons I like playing mid in solo queue, and I think I'm pretty equal across roles, but I can keep a higher win rate is mid affects the map so much more than other roles in a lot of games. Is if you're not using your lead mid, you'll just have 50 CS lead and lose games you shouldn't, which is kind of what's starting to happen this game. But really good job, commendable. We give a lot of criticism, but I would like to give compliments as well. Taking Dragon, timing it, and taking it when it comes up again. 2 Dragons by 14 minutes is really good.
It is.
Same issue though. I would like to see you sweep it or have a pink on it. But pretty good otherwise. Brown, what? Another magic.
A little bit of a wasted teleport by Tryndamere there.
Mm-hmm.
He was afraid Vladimir was going to dive tower onto Riven, but yeah.
Beaver. Corky's in a rough spot here. Sit
he's
on big one though. You can come back on Corky.
He's been CSing okay.
Corky's weird because he's this big one. Alright, this is really bad. Talked about big one earlier in the game, so I won't go back into that. But Corky's sometimes your lane won't go the best, but you can come back mid game. He's not like an AD carry where you be behind and you come back late game. But you need to use your spells and oftentimes group and force objectives like Dragon or mid tower.
There's that QSS.
Powerful.
Yeah, that QSS I think delays. He isn't doing any damage really.
Mm-hmm.
In mid lane, he'd be doing a lot more if he hadn't bought QSS and chose to get a Fiendish Codex or finish Athenes at that point, I guess.
Yeah, let's look at how much gold he has. He has 1,500. He can't finish his Athenes right now. He's probably gonna have to buy Codex and boots. If he didn't have that QSS, he could finish his Athenes and buy boots. And now he's not going to have a completed item. He's winning lane, he's 120 CS, and he's not going to have a completed item until probably past 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Not good. Probably well past that.
Oh yeah, Mal's isn't much of a threat either, but...
No. Yeah, and like I said, he should be able to not die to Malzahar with that QSS. Pretty iffy. Trend went skirmishers with Devour. Don't like Devour, don't like skirmishers. I think if you play Tryndamere, Warrior is better. Yeah. I like Warrior because it kind of helps him get through his rough early game better. I also like Warrior because his E scales with AD. It doesn't scale with the on hit, and Warrior can crit. Tryndamere has a lot of crit. Warrior synergizes with Last Whisper. Devour doesn't synergize with Last Whisper. Just Warrior in general. I like.
Well, Devour might synergize if you decide to go
AP Tryndamere.
Maybe I don't know.
AP Tryndamere jungle. AP on hit with hand Tryndamere jungle.
Yeah. Oh god, I remember the terror of AP Tryndamere when it was really strong. At first time I faced it, I just didn't know what to do. I freaked out.
I got really drunk and played AP Trynd, and I think I was Diamond 4 at the time.
Oh.
Wasn't a good game.
Whoa.
Interesting TP.
Yeah, if he had waited a bit longer for the chase and was able to TP behind, that might have been a bit better, but Tarek's being really too aggressive right now.
The one reason why I don't like this TP, one, he could have walked down. Two, they took Dragon around 1430, so his TP isn't up for next Dragon now. And if you're not getting like a kill mid-game, or it's like a really good reactive TP or something, or saving someone, and you waste TP and you don't have it for next Dragon, that's kind of rough. What's
Did you have a problem
necessarily
I like skirmishers with Skirmisher's Saber or...
Yeah, Skirmisher's is good out of Trend. He doesn't need the purple
that's
smiley.
rough. Oh, that's really rough.
This is the same thing I just mentioned with Galio. Way left. That's not good.
Well...
Did he DC? Quit. Alright, let's see if Whale DC'd. Why skirmishers if you're not going to be invading? Alright, that's actually a pretty good question. And we'll answer that once we find out if Whale DC'd or if he rage quit. A good exhaust, actually. Kudos to Leona. Really, really good exhaust on Whale there.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he DC'd. Alright, so why by skirmish are you not going to be invading instead? Tryndamere Arties is slow, so sometimes the blue smite him can be underwhelming, although it can be good to close the gap. He doesn't use it that effectively. And Tryndamere has a decent amount of sustain, and his clear is good, and he also doesn't get the mana back from Purple Smitey. So, he doesn't benefit from the other smites a lot, and Skirmishers lets him sometimes win odd 1v1s. I don't know, I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's just like, it's better than the other smitems. But I think Skirmishers is the right buy for him here.
He's not doing too bad necessarily.
He's
keeping his farm up a little. He's at least more farm than Gragas, but Gragas has 6 assists, so
it's not all of his lanes are losing. Like if you're in a solo queue game as a jungler and your lanes lose, you need to go down this flowchart. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if the other jungler does or not, but we'll use this as an example here. 1-10, 0-1-0, not on any kills. Gragas is on 7. So
yeah.
Lanes losing aside, only 3 of these kills didn't happen without Gragas. And then you can say, oh, it was really hard to gank my lanes because my lane is pushed and they all died to Gragas and blah blah blah. Ward up the other guy's jungle and counter gank. If your lanes are really like pushed, usually they're winning, and that usually means you win the 2v2 if you counter gank. So just
you gotta not be necessarily in the mindset of against the environment as a jungler, but really as against the other jungler. Like you gotta try and guess and track where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make you a lot better in the long run.
Counter like I don't know, you win. It's good for 2 people and bad for 2 people. It's like, whoa, hit the mouse. It's a really big swing.
Yeah.
He isn't playing to Saber's strength. No, he's not. And what we talked about with Galio in that team fight really showed. Oh, my AD carries aren't lined up. I'm such a scrub. He didn't buy damage or items to be useful. And look, he doesn't do damage to Vladimir. His ultimate, his W, his E didn't do a lot in that team fight. And just... he played to not lose instead of playing to win. And he's not losing that bad, but he's not going to win this game either. So he's like a perfect example of why you don't want to go with these uber defensive builds. And that's another example of it. Malzahar didn't die, although Corki got it. And Leona, don't use lead with exhaust. Usually not a chasing tool unless you really, really, really 100% are going to get the kill with it. But just save exhaust in case something happens and you need to use it reactively. It's a good reactive skill and you used it really well as a reactive skill when you were team fighting mid against Whale, but just be careful with using it to chase. Did he not get ult onto Tarek? No.
Oh man. Something tells me the atmosphere isn't so great on red team right now, but they just gotta you just can't not gotta get upset. This game doesn't even count.
Alright, so we have a break in the action somewhat. But if we don't have a break in the action, this is a pretty good opportunity for us to revisit the rules for Battle Arena. The first rule is no team speak. This is supposed to simulate solo queue, so want the game to be treated as such. Second rule is don't be bad-mannered. If somebody is bad-mannered, take a screenshot and report them to feedback@trinityforcepodcast.com or contact us, one of us in-game, with the screenshot, and we can probably take care of it as well.
Yep.
This is supposed to be a learning environment. Like, in all honesty, you guys aren't getting IP for this. You guys aren't getting... Wow. You guys, exactly, Brown Power. He's losing less. He's not dying there. You guys aren't getting IP for this, really. Like the difference between a win and a loss in a custom's 20 IP. You guys aren't getting LP if you're not here to learn. At
And you
least
can
don't
actually
ruin
learn a
the
lot
environment
playing
for other
you
people
learn a
who
lot
really want to
playing from
learn.
behind, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. The body slam right into Gragas ult. I mean, into Galio ult. That's really unfortunate because he caught like the whole team there. It was a good ult too. Dude.
We missed it. Let's see it. Oh. Alright, I'm gonna jump back. Sorry, I was a little behind the stream. But imagine yourself as a student in a classroom, and a teacher's teaching something and other students are actually there and they're eager to learn. You don't want to be the kid on a cell phone distracting everybody and being toxic. Also take it somewhat seriously. Same point, people are actually here to learn, so keep the environment as such a good place to learn. But this Vladimir is taking a dump on Whale. This Vladimir may be a smurf. Somebody want to look up this Vladimir? I don't know. The Vladimir misplayed some, but you can misplay quite a bit and still be down in 5 or something. Maybe not. Maybe Whale's getting the slice of humble pie. Chinamir, you want to get those boots though. I think I saw. I don't know if it's the same guy, but there's a Jax that took TP jungle in Battle Arena a while ago who didn't build boots for a long time. Does that mean no Soraka mid? If Soraka mid is what you're gonna play seriously in rank, play it. But also remember that this time could be very useful for you if you actually do want to get better. And if you're not doing lessons, to Patreon or Skillcapped, or if I'm not feeling generous with my time, like I don't know, just be useful. Be useful with your time. We all only have 24 hours in a day. So
ooh, nice!
consider this as a lesson.
There they go.
That's better. Jump back. Wow. That's a good fight. That's kind of Corky coming back mid-game some. And Galio finally has some AP to back him up. But Corky relies on spells. That's why he can come back mid-game, but not late-game. Often. Sometimes he can be good late-game, though, just because he can have a damage output the entire fight with Q and ult, where some people have to really sit on the edge if they can't auto-attack. And let's see. How many Devourer stacks does Trinamir have? 29. It's not too bad. Gargus has got glory. Whale still 0-2-0. Did Whale ever come back? No. God damn it, Whale. So, you guys are free to continue playing if you want, but you are playing a 4v5, so if you do want to end it and somebody's in stream chat, don't feel pressured to play out the entire thing. I'm really sorry, and we'll try and figure it out with WoW. A lot of new people in here, and Battle Arena does have a ban list, so stuff like this doesn't happen, but it's up to you guys to let us know who's being toxic so they don't continue to ruin it for everybody else. Speak up or forever hold your peace. Hopefully not the latter. I would like you guys to come back and enjoy this.
I would like to commend Red Team for the fight before this one. They really pulled it off.
Yeah, it was a good fight.
Yeah.
Whale went in this game so hard too. Whale has had some internet issues recently, so we may give him the benefit of the doubt, but maybe next time he won't flame somebody so hard when they DC from a power outage. decent Galio ult. I like the spell effects on new Galio ult.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's over. Alright.
That looks like it might be game. Looks like Tarek was making his way towards a locket, which is good. I like that. Leona finished off her face of the mountain is building something out of giant spell. I don't know what that could be.
Generally, I shouldn't see supports have giant spell.
Yeah.
I don't really see.
If you're looking for health, getting a Kindle gem is actually pretty awesome because the CDR it also provides. And it can build into a lot of different things.
Malzahar in stream chat. Alright, well, talk about some of the things you could have improved on. Talked about some of it during the game, and we haven't mentioned, but all these VODs are available on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. Also, you can go to Twitch and you can go to recent videos. They're always available immediately on Twitch if you really, really want to see as soon as the game ends. I think they take a few minutes to render, but it's much faster. The YouTube ones are a couple of hours.
Yeah. Takes well to upload them.
Okay. Really good job by Caitlyn.
Yeah.
Elixir of Wrath, about to end the game. One of the things, I don't know, some things take very long to practice, and they're difficult to iron out. Mistakes in play, and some things you just do, and you instantly become slightly better. And those things are like warding, and knowledge, applications of knowledge. You can improve very fast. And we'll pull up advanced details. Alright, so 2 things to improve on everybody. And we didn't watch bot lane a ton that game. I'm just kind of spacey right now, so I'll do my best, but for Caitlyn Leona I'm not. Oh, we watched some. Alright, so for Leona, Giant Spell doesn't build into anything a support would want. You're playing Galio Corki, and Trend with the Devourer and Tarek. It's enough magic damage to warrant Locket, probably. And Gragas wasn't getting it, so I would have just gotten Locket. I would have upgraded my Sweeper as well. Be careful with engaging in lane. I saw you engaged a couple of times bot lane where you didn't have stuff forwarded. You got really lucky, you guys kind of snowballed lane, but it can be trickier if you get camped out in the future. Gragas, Righteous Glory is not bad. Same thing, upgrading Sweeper. I would have liked to see more early game pressure. Most Gragases I see go for some flash body slam ganks and just warding out Tryndamere more, possibly, but most of your ganks worked, and you did a good job snowballing the game. You were 1-1-6, and Tryndamere's 0-1-0 when we kind of made the reference point to how a jungler snowballs the game, so overall, you did a good job. Caitlyn, CS stood out to me some. I think I've talked to you about this before, and we'll work on some stuff next week, because I did tell you I would help you out. Just busy, man. Build looks good. They don't have a ton of armor, although they do have Tarek. I like the BT just for sustain against this much magic damage. I think Tuco saw some mechanical misplays. I think mechanical misplays in CS were all we really saw. But we didn't watch bot lane a lot past 3 or 4 minutes. You could have auto-attacked the champions a little more early on trades too. But I think those are things I've already stressed to you before.
Otherwise,
yeah. Vlad, you played well. Don't pull in lane for no reason. If Riven doesn't have third Q or Riven doesn't have W and you press pull, you're just losing all of your health. I think other than that, you played pretty well. I saw sometimes mid game you weren't keeping your E up as much as you could have. I think those are the two big things. I think other than that, you played pretty well. Malzahar, upgrade your trinket. I'm just using that as an excuse to give myself a second to think. Did you see anything outside of CS? Do you generally improve CS? I talked about the CS guide a little bit before that. Head over to Trinity Force Reddit. It's buried a little bit, but you can find it.
Regarding Corki?
Regarding Malzahar.
Oh, Malzahar? Yeah, and the CS needs quite a bit of work. How do you feel about Rite of Ages into Morella and Nomicon?
I think Galio lane. I went with 80 runes and AP Masters. Against Gallia, you should be pressuring him harder early. Malzahar kind of has win condition and priority over him. Morella's would be really good for this game. It reduces Galio healing, it reduces Taric healing, it just gives you priority on the lane. But did a good job at, although you were behind in lane, you didn't let yourself die, and letting yourself get carried is something they talk about on a podcast, and you did a good job with that. So kudos, man, or woman, equal opportunity. Riven, Whale, never upgrade trinkets, and prior rage quit. Not gonna talk about that. Tryndamere.
We touched on it a little bit about like what he should be doing, I guess. Maybe a little bit more looking for a fight instead of farming up solely, but
use the early game power skirmisher, and also Tryndamere, you have a really good 2v2, especially if you have red buff. Tryndamere's 2v2's red buff is really good, especially if you apply W. You can apply it on 1 to 2 targets, and it reduces a lot of AD. Kind of hard to force ganks on Trynd, so you really need to think about 2v2 and look for 2v2.
Yeah.
And sometimes 2v2s just happen, and not having boots really reduces your ability to just be at places
participate in those. Yeah.
And you can
try to mirror. He almost had to mirror Gragas, I feel like, for him to be effective. Game.
If you want a 2v2, a lot of times you just like look for your lanes that are pushed, farm, and you want 2v2 and farm. There's some junglers like Chen that want a 2v2 and farm. You look for lanes that are pushed, you farm the adjacent camp to that lane, you wait for the other jungler to gank that push lane. If they don't, you go to the next adjacent camp and you kind of figure it out from there. If they do, you just leave the camp or finish the camp and counter gank. But doing buffs where you think action is going to happen is one of the ways you can just be in the right place in the right time more often, which is kind of what Tryndamere wants to do sometimes. Corki, upgrade Scrying Orb. Also, if you're this far behind, I don't like BT second. BT is half defensive and it cuts your damage output.
You really need to be pumping out the damage, so yeah, gotta
Orb
get
would
that.
be good, probably. I would have liked to see Orb.
Oh yeah.
In lane, Taric made it really difficult. Go into fights with Big One. I talked about that. I saw you waste Big One a lot. And just don't be afraid to use rockets. I saw you randomly not shoot them at Caitlyn at times.
Yeah. There's another point where I don't know if he maybe had a cooldown on rockets, but there's a chance to kill a Leona bot lane that he kind of passed up on.
Taric, you don't want to lose all your health for Target's proc. And this is really important if you want to play Taric or melee supports in general. One of the best ways to do this is you're playing behind the wave, and when a creep gets low, you're walking up to the wave to hit it. This is basic 101 Dota drill. Taric is hitting the CS, he can't do anything, he's going to take free retaliation. One of the better ways to do it is if you actually have lane presence and you're standing on the wave, you can harass, you can posture, you can do stuff, and then when a creep gets low, you hit it organically. It's not as telegraphed, and you won't eat as much harass, and sometimes you're just losing lane and you can't go for it and get wrecked.
Yeah.
So
I
play
also
safe.
wanted to comment. His level 1, the idea for him was to walk up, use Shatter, and then walk away. And that kind of I don't think that'll necessarily work. You're walking up to do a little bit of damage and reduce the armor of Caitlyn, but you're sacrificing your own personal armor buff, and Corki isn't following you. So as you're walking away, you have Leona and Caitlyn just beating you up when you just threw away half your armor buff. So Yeah, that's not a. That's kind of not how you harasses Tarek. If you're gonna do that, you really gotta have your stun up and ready to go. If you start level 1 W, which he might have just done because he was almost caught out by that invade, and he might have leveled up W for the defensive stats, I guess. But if you're don't have your optimal level 1 skill leveled up, you really need to not be aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
You lost a lot of early health that way.
You also want to respect level 2 a lot. Leona's level 2 is really, really strong. And you saw Leona get 2 first and went up for a Targon's proc, and that really, really, really hurt you guys in lane. So help push for 2. Try and not let Leona get 2 first. That's one of her strongest aspects. If she does, play accordingly. Galio, play to win, don't play not to lose. That's kind of broad. I'll expand upon it. I expanded upon it a few times in the game. You should be able to beat Maz with that QSS. You didn't finish an item for a really long time, and you lost a ton of priority in the map. Sure, you weren't dying to Malzahar, but you couldn't translate your huge CS lead anywhere on the map. You couldn't really roam because you delayed boots for QSS. You couldn't clear wave because you delayed AP for QSS. Delaying your build 1300 gold is a lot. And then you were beating the Malzahar, you didn't need it.
Yeah. And I did see for the most part good decisions of when to ult.
But you didn't have AP.
Yeah. You made good decisions, it's just that those decisions would have been a lot more effective if he hadn't sunk that much gold into an early QSS, that's all.
And well, this is one of the reasons he struggled in lane. He's a really dominant laner, and it doesn't matter how good you are at laning. If your warding column looks like this, you'll get bodied sometimes. Green, don't see any green out of Kate Leona, that's fine. Vlad could have warded a little more, but I actually like the sweeper out of him.
Yeah.
Irvin Tarek is okay. Wards destroyed, could be a little better. Remember to smite Raptor buff on both junglers. And Vision wards purchased. Would like to see more, especially Mouse and stuff like that. But improvement on the last 2 games, so if you played in previous games and your warding did improve, good job. Oh, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to thank everybody for kind of hanging with us as we try out the new sign-up system. It was a little, I may have missed somebody out. I don't think I did, but it was a little clunky applying it, and it'll definitely go a lot smoother next week. But I'm glad we implemented it. We got a lot more new people in, a lot more new faces. So yeah, thanks everybody for signing up. Do it again next week. We got to reset it. But yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, and if you want any information on Battle Arena, remember to just hop over to TrinityForceNetwork.com, Battle Arena community schedule about home. A lot of good information there. Remember, we get some software whale. Battle Arena is every 7 p.m. Eastern time. Use the sign up. Make sure you get in the game. Awesome sheet. You can thank the Lanzalone in game for making the sheet. He put a lot of work into it. Cool guy as well. Bronze Boot Camp also for all those of you Silver 5 and below. Feel free to hop into that. It's good stuff. Same concept, but Silver 5 and below. So safe place for those of you who be lower elo and struggle in Battle Arena a little bit. But it's good to get an opportunity to play higher elo players. So it's trust me, if I could go into custom games and play with 800 LP challenger people, I would be doing it right now. But I don't have the same opportunities you guys have. Enjoy being privileged, and have a good night.
Yep, have a good night.